Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I am one of your hosts, La Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts.
Archlector George.
And Harrison, the Adeptus Historical.
We continue our coverage of the Age of Madness trilogy with the Little Hatred, and we cover Eating Peas with a Sword and the Battle of Red Hill. So, let's get started.
Yeah, Jeff, or should I say AI Jeff, who we have replaced Jeffrey with. Say hi, AI Jeff.
Yes.
Yep, so Jeff is going to be absent in this episode, and we have to go with the sub-in, which is a new experimental software which you can also purchase at our website, but not really. And it should be a good time because me and George have really thought this through. You know us as Circle World Podcast. We plan everything ahead. And
Absolutely.
we hope you guys enjoy the episode. So we'll start with Eating Peas with a Sword.
So yes, for this episode we join our hero, Crown Prince, also on his way to save his lady love / sister. And they've just arrived outside Valbeck, and he doesn't know about the sister bit yet. To be fair, but you know,
you know what? It's like the most for once in this entire story, he actually is a crown prince who is a good person, relatively speaking, going to save his love.
It was in him the whole time, wasn't it? This first half of this chapter, where he's just like, "Oh no, you know, actually." Attacking this city full of my own people who have a few rebels among them might be a bad idea.
Yeah, I love
like, that. Also, where is this coming from, baby? Come on.
That's it, baby. He's starting to believe. I like how he has this.
Yeah, I feel you.
Thanks, AI Jeff. He's starting to have this belief in himself, you know, to take more action. And that's really nice to see. And I like too how he does something that most characters don't do. He's actively thinking things through. He's not just having like a comment on what is happening. He's not being like, oh yes, blah, blah, fucking blah. Let me have my inner monologue. No, he's not doing that. He's genuinely thinking this through. He's like, I'd love to go in there, kill all the rebels and save her. But that's stupid.
I think this is the first time that we see Orso's greatest trait, which is also his sort of undoing in a way, is his detachment. He's very good at detaching himself from situations and trying to act in a way that doesn't affect him in a good way or a bad way.
Which is exactly what the role of king should be in this situation.
Exactly. He's perfect. He's perfectly trained to be a diplomat or a king. He's just choosing not to do anything with it most of the time.
Yeah. He also is, as we see here, again, highlights his other good trait, is he genuinely, I say that a lot with Orso because it's just like shocking for the series. He genuinely is a good delegator. He is very good at delegating. You know, they approach Valbeck and, you know, the men start spreading out and he's like, yeah, surround the city. You know, set up a blockade, which, by the way, 5,000 men, there's no way could they actually siege Valbeck. But maybe we can stretch the imagination and they could basically patrol the roads and all the ins and outs because Valbeck is maybe a walled city, so maybe they can just watch the gates or something. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, George, but 5,000 men is enough to do something, but it's not enough to, like, actually siege the city, is it?
I don't know if they're doing sort of more of an assault kind of thing, making a show out of it, not necessarily surrounding all the way, just making a show of it. You know, people are good. The people that are going to try and get out aren't the people that you're trying to catch anyway.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense in that way. And I love the line where he says, put the cannons somewhere that they can be shown but not used. Because it's like, yeah, even it also understands that we should, thank you, Jeffrey. Also understands that we should not use heavy firepower on civilians, unlike some people.
Yes.
Oh, fuck off.
Not you, Jeffrey.
You violent psychopath.
Jeffrey AI is the best thing ever. This is incredible.
You You should get your own audience.
Yeah. Only $5.99 a month.
If I'm not,
Jeffrey
yeah,
AI. He will tell you to fuck off all the time.
He doesn't really contribute in any other way though. Just FYI. So no different than the real Jeffrey does most of the work here. If you guys didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
All right, Jeffrey. That's enough self-glazing. I like how Orso. We talked about how he's also got all these people here, right? He's got Yoke, and he's got Forrest, and he's got Sulfur, and he's got Pike, and he's got I'm missing somebody.
Yoke.
No, I said Yoke. Yoke, Tunny, and
Hildy.
Yeah, Hildy. That's who I was missing. He's got them all there.
Hildy?
And he basically is like, okay, well, I gotta be like a leader, I guess. And he's like, okay, we need to figure out who is leading the rebels. And
Yoru Sulfur just randomly appears out of nowhere and it's like, yes, that's a great idea, Your Majesty. Crown Prince also. And it's like, also turns around and he's like, oh yes, this whole entire life of being trained as a Crown Prince has taught me to be completely polite at all times. Like, who the fuck are you? In the most polite way possible.
I love that too, because he says what we always want to say. He's like genuine. He's just is like, what? Who are you?
Yeah. He's one of the only characters in the whole First Law that sees Yoru Sulfur and goes, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's not right.
I love how he's like, well, he wasn't 100% sure what his role was, so he just went, okay. He's like, just plays along with it. No problem, Yoru Sulfur.
I like how he doesn't even ask. Like, Yoru Sulfur's like, yes, my master will be very disappointed. It's like, everybody's like, who's your master? It's like, oh, the master, yes, of course. But he also just doesn't give a shit. He's just like, yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah,
Do you want some chicken?
He and Yoru Sulfur is like all creepy. He's like, I have a very particular diet. And Orso, funnily enough, is as many of the things in this little chapter is there's so much like subtlety in here that we as the audience knows about, but Orso doesn't. And he's like, oh, magic takes a very specific diet, doesn't it? And he said, indeed. He's like, yes, very specific. He's like, exactly right. Which also implies too that eaters don't eat anything else.
I think he's just Yoru. I think he's just a weirdo.
I don't know, because
we've seen Shanks eats other things. Shanks puts other stuff with his human flesh meals.
With his human, he thinks about how he's gonna cook it all together. I wonder if
he's like, oh yeah, that'll go well with a bit of Valentine bread and
maybe
some sapati and mushrooms and all that.
Yeah, I wonder if the if he can't eat other meat. Because anytime Shank talked about it, it has to be, it's always human flesh, not any other.
Is that Yoru's curse? It's his only eater curse. Is that he can't eat any other meat but human meat.
I'm saying that Shank did also didn't eat any other meat. He only talked about pairing it with things. This is interesting.
That's true. That is true.
Although it adds a whole new layer. It's like, you can only eat the flesh of man, not the flesh of chicken, not the flesh of cow.
So is the holy word of aliens.
Yes.
Which, to be fair, makes as much sense as most other religious dietary laws.
Ooh, throwing shade at the religious.
Throwing shade at like 80% of people in the world.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
The other person they have up here is Tallow, who did in fact do his job, seemingly, and got he's now like with Orso in the team, and he said, and Orso, I really appreciate this too. Orso looks at Tallow, he's like, so like, who's in charge in there? Because that's his inside man, who has already been in there, and he basically says, well, there are a couple of players in there. He says, there's Rizanao, the superior of the Inquisition. He called himself the Weaver. He seemed like he was leading him, but he talked like a madman. And then there's a woman called Judge, and she's even madder. And then there's an old fellow, Malmer, something like that. He seemed decent, I reckon. And then Orso, without a hesitation, he goes, Mulmer it is then. And then he looks at Talon and goes, have you eaten today? You look bloody famished. He's like,
I don't know how he says to Yoke, he's like, get this boy a chicken. And he's like, Yoke looks a little sour about that. Also said, sour about that, are you, Yoke? It's like also can read the text the same that we do.
Exactly. He goes, he says, thinks the task, you think the task is beneath you. And he's like, well, and he goes, any task that I should give you is far above you. Get the boy a damn chicken, then I want you to go with him towards Valberg under a white flag. And he goes, do we have a white flag, Tunny? He goes, it's just a shirt. It's just a white shirt on a stick.
Yeah,
goes,
just stick a shirt on a stick. Job done.
He goes, chicken first, then the shirt on the stick, then heads up to the nearest barricade and tell Crown Prince Orso would like to speak to them very much. A Mulmer of the Breakers. Tell them I want to negotiate. Tell them I'm keen to negotiate. Tell them about negotiation the way a stallion feels about a mare. And I like that Yoke shuts the fuck up and does his job. He's like, Orso isn't my friend right now. He's the Crown Prince. Got it.
Mm-hmm. And even Tunny acknowledges this now because he's like, he raises an eyebrow at him and also is like, what? And he's like, well, I actually think you might actually make a half-decent king someday. It's like, you said that before. It's like, yeah, but this time I actually meant it. And that, you know what? That fits Tunny so well. I love the fact that we're getting this new character that we can love and bond with. And we get Tunny, who has just been this cynical asshole the whole time, but you kind of love him at the same time. So having his approval of a character that we're well versed with just, brings this character more depth,
Yeah, it's a good point. It's like we know that Tunny, in his heart of hearts, maybe isn't like a good person, but he has some good values, I'm saying. Like, he was willing to charge with the flag. He was willing to die and do his duty. And he seems to be taken with Orso. And he genuinely believes in him. And that says a lot because Tunny doesn't believe in anything unless he thinks it's the right thing.
That's true. It's just that most of the time the right thing is his own self-interest.
Yeah. It's interesting too that Sulfur says, we... You sure you don't have anything else to say, Jeff?
Yes.
Very
okay, Jeff. Thank
affirming. You. Yes,
that's great.
He says, "We all must make sacrifices," and Orso's like, "Well, I don't really feel like I've ever been much good at it." And Hildy's like, lack of practice. But he says, "I've never been much good at sacrificing." To be fair to Orso, he has never had to sacrifice anything. So maybe he thinks that disqualifies him. But the truth is like he just never has had to sacrifice anything. No one wants to sacrifice anything. So
no, it's just that the opportunity has never really forced itself on him.
Yeah, he's
had plenty his whole life. But then again, when we actually see him do without, all we get from him is mild complaints. He's just like, this wine the breakers are giving me in prison is a bit watery. It's a bit of crap.
Yeah. He really rolls with the punches.
Yeah, he does. It's our boy also.
He is our boy. He's got this thing going on with Orso, Sulfur, this little exchange. He's like, do you know any kind of spells that can take care of this or something? And he goes, magic, and this is actually interesting. He says, magic can level mountains. I have seen it. There's always a cost, and it rises with each passing year. In my experience, swords offer considerably better value. I think that is cool, because that implies that Sulfur has seen a higher age of magic, which implies to his age and his power level, for those who are into power scaling. But he's probably seen bias to it.
I mean, we know that I think it's Zacharias that talks about Yoru, and he kind of talks about him negatively because we kind of assume that Zacharias knows that Yoru is an easer and disapproves. But that was, how many hundreds of years between Zacharias and Boaz meeting before then?
Yeah, could have been a long time.
I feel, Yoru could have been there back in the old Empire.
Yeah, or at least at the
For all we know.
Yeah, maybe not as his apprentice yet, but he could have been a part of the machinations going on. Yuru also, he they have he says like, you sound more like an accountant than a wizard. What he says, Orso says to him, and he's like, well, it's the sign of the times. And of course, we knowing that he's just basically a bank representative just makes it all the funnier. But I just find it so interesting that Yuri Sulfur is just like hanging out here. It also does prove my theory from before, that as Yuri Sulfur appears, he knows that, my master's busy in the West dealing with some siblings and all that jazz. It proves the fact that he literally just came from the North, and he came from the North because he heard about what was going on here, and he definitely sent word to Baez. So I think this is him saying like, yep, I came as soon as I found out, implies that, whenever. Now, Jeff, don't get mad.
Nah, no way. You're bugging. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, I'm just saying, he says here specifically, like, I came straight from the North. So last time, whenever you said that he was going to, Baez must know what's going on. Well, Baez is all the way across the world, and Neuro even confirms that by saying, yep, I sent word as soon as I found out what was going on here, but, I got to oversee things. I got to be the one to deal with this,
I mean, it kind of confirms, though, that Yuri Sulfur can literally teleport, because, they're fighting in the North, and then also finds out that he has to go to Velbeck, and then in the next chapter we know that. So,
It's okay.
And I like that. You know what? Fuck it. I like the fact that Joe doesn't go, yeah, sorry, Yuri Sulfur can teleport. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He gets
agree.
there. He does what he needs to do, and that's the story.
I agree, but let's think about some ideas. Let's think about a few ideas. There's a couple of ideas that I thought about just now when you said that. One, Yuri Sulfur can run extremely fast and just fucking sprint it back.
Oh no, he sprint, he walks, he runs so fast that he can sprint over water.
That's what I'm saying. He just sprinted directly back,
straight over the sea from England to Midland.
He literally walks out of Calder's Hall and goes like the Flash.
He looks over both shoulders to make sure nobody can see him, and then just leaves.
just bolts out of there. He also he could actually genuinely teleport, or he could, maybe a more believable theory, maybe. Although I don't think I think you're right. He'd have to do something. Maybe he could jump.
He jumps like the Hulk. He just
from the 2003.
We know that eaters can move with supernatural speed, right? And being an ancient eater, like as old as Kalul himself, maybe Yuri Sulfur is literally that powerful that he can, if he's ready, he can just store up that much energy and just go.
Yeah, maybe, because we know that eaters get less affected by the cost that he just mentioned. And for those wondering, those who've ever thought about it, the cost that he means, I think that happens because as magic is diminishing and they become more separated, the other side, it takes more effort to reach across and pull out from the other side, which is why Baez got so fucking tired in the first trilogy, because and
it's why they also become more soulless over time as well, the eaters, because it's pulling from the same source, just through a different channel.
Yeah,
excellent point.
Thank you, Jeffrey. That's what most kind of you to agree for once. You're very agreeable today, aren't you, Jeffrey? Okay. Shall we move on?
Yes. I think that this chapter, and he also mentions, hey, Superior Pike, do you want a chicken? I like how the Superior did not look pleased at the thought of chicken. Indeed, it was the most that Orso could do to stand his ground. The man as hideously burned as him approached him. He says, "You mean to treat with the rebels?" And he's like, "I do. After all, or what can talk harm?" And he's like, "No, you can't do that. I don't want you talking with them, XYZ." And Orso is actually very tactical here. He had basically all his, like you mentioned earlier, all of his greatest traits comes out in those chapters. He's a delegator. He's a negotiator. He's kind. He's firm.
He's thoughtful.
And he goes, He leaned in close and he's like, you know, the best part about being the crown prince is that like I can promise and wheedle and do all these things, but I never actually have the power to do anything. And
I
Pike
love
is like,
how he describes Pike's reactions as well. It's like, I imagine that Pike raised an eyebrow if he had one. I just imagine Pike's expression not changing at all, and also just like, yeah.
he's like, is it even possible that maybe the faintest nod?
Yeah.
He basically is approving of that, and I think that is excellent because basically Pike is like, listen, you can't make decisions, and Orso's like, I'm not making decisions. That's your job, buddy. Which will actually come back to bite him in the ass, though. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
But anyways, I like how this chapter ends, though. He's like, before I get to that, Tunney mentions as he's unfolding the steadfast standard. He's like, Orso says, "What is it, Corporal?" And he says, "I never saw more harm done than by the heroes who couldn't wait to get started." Which I thought was nice. Really good quote from Tunney there.
It's good. It's good. It's Tunney actually applying his actual soldering knowledge. You know, he's been there at Ulriarch and all the fights, including Gluckter's famous charge. You know, he's seen idiots go in and get ruined by, you know, just being too eager. So it's good that Tunney appreciates that also.
Yeah,
like we do.
We do, and it ends with what you mentioned earlier, George, which is really nice, is that he says, you know, I've never actually meant it before, that he could be, you know, a good king, a better than average king.
Yes. So what rating would you give that, Harrison?
I really like this chapter a lot. I think that there is a lot of subtlety. We get to see all of Orso's best traits, which in a fantasy story where most people who are capable are not in a position to do anything about it. And then we finally have somebody who's good, capable, legitimate, and then he actually is doing something with it in a very awesome way. It's so satisfying. It's just very cathartic to have this character exist in Joe's universe. So I think 8. I think there's just really good dynamics, really well written, and a lot of subtlety.
I'm going to have to give it an 8 as well. I agree. Like, this is probably also at his best at the same way we're kind of receiving a parallel with Leo at his worst.
I think so too. Yeah, and also, you know, you have this. I forgot to mention that too. You're right. There's this parallel of Leo about to be like, we need to get at them. We need to charge them down. We need to be a hero, just like what Tony says, basically. And then Orso is dichotomy of being like, just take our time. Just use our brains.
Yeah. Even though at the beginning we would have thought of Orso as somebody that didn't put any thought into anything, you know.
Yeah, push him back over the border and all that.
Also has probably had the most growth out of any character in the first lore within, you know, 2 parts of a book. Oh my god. That's got to be a record.
He beat his father.
What do you think, Jeffrey AI?
Yes.
That's a trifecta.
Okay. That's a trifecta, everybody.
By default. He doesn't have a choice.
Yes, we have Jeffrey imprisoned in a tiny little cube. And, this is all he can say. It's like that episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah. Jeff AI... Jeff AI is actually Jeff in a prison cell, pressing buttons like a cat and a dog, as he hears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's torture, really.
It's sad. George, what's the meme of the week?
Right, so our meme of the week is a meme of a chapter, actually. It's a bloody niner. It's a bloody niner who is probably the only person who does the meme of the week at this point, because it's died down and we're missing all the memes. It's so
I know.
sad.
It's tough. It's a desert world out there for us for Sloppins.
It is. It is. We are the only people making any kind of content at all, and I hope you appreciate it. But yeah, this is from the Bloody Niner, and it's for miming every chapter a little hatred where names are made, and I have no other fuck idea what this is about. Harrison, can you help me?
I'm using all my brain power. I'm pretty sure what this meme is trying to say is that Leo is acting like Conor McGregor, all flaunting and being crazy and all that. Stour is not really hurt. He's just like sitting back. You know, he's not really truly beat. It's just.
But it's the other way around, though, isn't it? Leo's the one that's hurt.
Well, they both get hurt, to be fair. But Stour's laid back, like he's like, all right, well, this is it. And then, of course, Rika in this horrible Napoleon Dynamite edit of his face with Rika's face. Lucky! I think it's supposed to be... I think it's just too big brain for us. I don't think we're able to comprehend this shit. Bloody Nana, you've completely stumped us. Congratulations.
Excellent. Yeah, it's great. I actually gobsmacked for the first time in my life.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you so much. So now we get into the Battle of Red Hill. And we start with our girl, Rika. And how's your leg? What do you have to say about that, Harrison? How's your leg?
Hey, I'm just saying, anybody who rereads this, they're like, Rika said the thing. Rika said the thing, but it's... I really don't know if Joe meant to do this at all. It's weird that he begins a chapter like that. He usually... I got my tinfoil hat on here. He usually ends and begins chapters with a very narrative choice. That's just how he rolls, if he can. This case, there's a very specific line, how's your leg, rather than how's the leg. And it's in a chapter about the Battle of Red Hill, where his leg initially gets hurt in just a minute. I don't know. The thing is I don't think he actually meant to do this on purpose. I think he's being cheeky and knew that people who would reread it would be like, oh, even though it doesn't mean anything.
There are plenty of characters that ask, how's the leg in this book? I think it comes up about 8 or 9 times.
In this,
just
this book alone?
No, in the second trilogy, sorry, The Age of Madness.
There's a lot of leg injuries inside the second trilogy here, which is odd.
I mean, it happens. You know, it's 50% of your body, you know, your legs. So it happens. I'm just being, you know.
Yeah, just statistically speaking.
Yeah, you know, if somebody's going to stab you, statistically speaking, 50% of the time, they're going to stab you in the legs. You know?
That's just because you're English. I mean, Rika's whole little thing here. I mean, we're gonna in this chapter, we're gonna talk more about the POVs as a whole. But Rika's chapter here is very interesting. This is the first time we actually see her properly use kind of quotations the long eye. She's sitting there, she's listening to everybody, you know, everyone's getting ready, and she's antsy.
I mean, it's not the first time we see her use it because she deflects an arrow with it.
No, you're right. She definitely uses it
but
way more.
She definitely uses it in a way that she can understand ahead of time rather than just acting in the moment.
Yeah.
She kind of, you know, she sees who we know now as the Nail, who, from her description, sounds like an 80s punk rocker. You know, big boots and the spiky blonde hair. You know, in my head, that guy is just a really big Sid Vicious.
I don't know who that is.
You've never heard of
who
Sex
that is.
Pistols?
Jeff knows because he's old.
Yeah, Jeff is old, to be fair.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, that's okay, Jeff. It's all right. It's okay to feel like that. But yeah, Rika actually sees something of importance that is important to everybody. And I love the fact that she doubts herself so much. She's just like, well, you know, could it be in the next hour? Could it be in 1,000 years? Could it have been 10 years ago? You know, what is this? What am I seeing?
Which is,
and it's just like, oh no, I think you're right.
Yeah, hey, there's a lot of, I like this scene a lot too because, you know, you've got Oxel, who we haven't had too much characterization, but it's very clear he's an asshole. They're like, yeah, this stupid bitch, like, what, she's seeing things in the forest, fucking crazy ass bitch. And Discerning Veil is like, yeah, the men are. She's like, Isern, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And she's like, the men are rude, but they're not wrong. There isn't anything out there. But if you're seeing something out there, she immediately believes her. She's like, let's make this work. Let's do something with this.
And Isern is enough of an authority to actually sway people.
She is.
Whereas if Rika was just walking around her own going, oh, there's somebody coming out of the trees, it just wouldn't work.
Yes, and Isern also has this this other role with the Northmen that I think that only Hillmen have. This happened before, as we'll see soon, but because we're talking about her significance here just for a minute. She's the one who leads the duel between Stour and Leo in the circle, and her father did the same thing between the Bloody Nine and Fenris the Feared. So I think there is a certain shamanistic kind of spiritual
sort of
leader
like,
kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like that. It's sort of like ruralism, right? So the people that live in the hills, they know more about the land, and therefore they're more like wise. I think that goes back.
I think you're right. You know? Good point. Good point.
You know, the idea. I think in the States in the early 1800s, like the mountain man, right?
Yes. Good point.
You know, and just somebody that lives off the land, and that's it. And they've kind of reverted almost to naturalistic ways.
Yeah.
So therefore, they have more in tune with nature, and nature is an allegory for religion for a lot of people. So.
Yeah, and the Northmen we know don't have a specific religion, as you said many times. Joe's world is very secular, but the Northmen themselves are fairly spiritual in terms of traditionalism. You know, like they're very much like you kind of follow this way of doing things. This is how things are. So, but anyways, they listen. She goes and tells the Dogman that she's seeing people come out of the trees, and they have Black Calder's banner, his
standard.
Which honestly is
the black sun on the it is a sick fucking. That's a really good. If I saw a big black sun on a green, was it green?
No, George. It's a red circle, implying it's a red circle on a field of black. And there's something so simplistic about that, yet so Bethod Bloody Nine. Like I imagine too, the paint on the red circle is kind of running down just a little bit, like it's a little runny. Oh man. What a sick ass standard. That's so cool. I mean,
we forget that was actually the original point of flags, is to, you want to make somebody so scared that they run away just by seeing your flag, you know?
Yeah, and it's cool that Calder picked up his father's, standard. That's pretty awesome. I love to see the standard again. But, so some of the men don't listen to her, but they go up there and tell Dogman, and Dogman is like, well, that's going to ruin the trap, because basically the plan here is to have a little decoy kind of, oh no, there's a wagon stuck on the bridge. Our caravan is going to get raided by the Northmen. They're going to play that up on the bridge, which normally you could cross, but in this case you can't ford it because there's been a lot of rains this year. So they know they have to come across the bridge. So they should be able to one, funnel them down to smaller numbers. Then the Union Englanders can come attack one side, and then the Dogmen can come down the other side and flank them and pin them in and try to wipe them out and make them rout and stuff. It's a really good plan, honestly.
Yeah.
But if Rika is right and there are people in the force, that's on the opposite side of them. And that's going to completely derail the plan, because now Dogman has, as he's frustrated here, he's not. And Dogman's a wonderful father, so he's not mad at her. He's just like, I can't turn our whole little battalion around just to face the forest. Whenever we have to help.
Because to be fair, he probably doesn't even comprehend the Long Eye the same way that we do as readers, and the same way that Issa, Norcrummock, or anybody else that really believes in it. He's probably just sent Wrecker away on the sort of, oh yeah, no, she's a bit weird. Let's go and send her to live with the hillmen.
I actually don't agree with you, George, because it's not that he doesn't believe her in that way. It's the fact that her visions are inconsistent. So they could be from 1,000 years ago, or 1,000 years in the future, or whatever. Because he put her with a Cerny Fail because her father has the Long Eye. I'm kidding. That's a fan theory of George's, but I think he believes it. He also him and Blackdog killed Karib. I think he knows exactly, more in depth than what the Long Eye can do. Than, you know what I mean?
But then again, Karib had more powers than just the Long Eye. She had she could entrance people, like literally.
Yeah,
so, I feel like Karib is in a different league to Rega, who eventually learns from Karib, but not in the same way that
Yeah, she doesn't get the golden voice. That's a good point. That's just.
But I do like the fact a Dogman can only believe in these things so much, and until now, all the battles that he's fought, this isn't true. This.
Yes, good point. That's an excellent point. But you know who does as always, in my opinion, Shivers is at his quote unquote peak in this last trilogy.
Yes.
He is so cool.
Shiva is the true Rika paragon. She's her knight in shining armor.
Yes, he is. You're right. He's like he is like, honestly, you're right. He's like a true knight of the North in a kind of a classical sense. And he basically goes, "Oh, Rika has this thing. People don't believe her." He goes, "Hey, Dogman, give me a couple Carls. Let me run down there and check it out. And if they're not down there, no harm, no foul. And if they are, then I'll come running back and we'll know what to do." So that's what he does. And I think we should stick with Rika here. I think through her POV, if you're all right with that, George.
Yeah, that's good.
And he goes down there, and after a little bit of time, and as things start to happen on the bridge, basically, Shivers comes running the fuck out of the forest, and he's getting chased. There's arrows flying by him. Thankfully, he has main character protection, plot armor, which is okay.
Yes, Shivers has maximum plot armor, which is great.
He's maxed out his plot armor. He does lose all his men, it looks like, unfortunately, but he makes it back up the hill, and as he's running back up there, he's yelling and hollering. All the men have to rotate from the side where the bridge is all the way to the other side in this old fortress, and they all have to be now. It's like this. It kind of reminds me of the scene inside of Before They Hanged, whenever they all had to switch and get ready for the charge of the Shenka and all that. So all these Northmen, they all rotate around.
I love how Shivers is actually giving orders as he's running. He's like, and everybody can hear him, even though he's meant to have this really hoarse voice. He's like absolutely belting out his fucking lungs, going, "Everybody get ready," and I fucking love that for Shivers,
Yeah, it is a really, really good scene, I think. Joe has not given us a very hype scene, except that maybe a little bit in that Leo chapter.
I think it is where you put it. You can get hype wherever it is found, wherever you can find it.
I do like too how whenever he's running out, like how they're all like talking about, they can't wait any longer, we got to leave it be, and Rick is the one who's like, "Wait, tell me you see that." And they all start fighting, and it is and I like that Rika's reaction to this, I think, is really, really well done, because Rika's never seen a battle before, and she did not like it. Nobody would, let's be real. And I like this idea too, that all the men on the fortressless, like, old ruined wall, that all of Dogman's men are like in a shield wall, and so are Calder's men. They're all kind of pressing against each other over this wall, and this shield wall press is, I don't know. There's something primal in me that I'm like, shield wall.
I mean, it's definitely more. I imagine this is how most of the combat plays out in First Law anyway. It just doesn't get described that way.
I think you're right. At least with the Northmen, yeah.
I mean, all the fights that we get to see are generally up to this point just, 1-on-1, 1-on-2 or whatever, and the person barely escapes unscathed.
Or like a big charge in a battle. It's not
or
usually...
it's a big charge, or they run away, or it's just I've fallen in the mud.
Yes.
Which happens a lot.
Oh, I can't see what's going on.
These books. Yeah. Oh shit, there's mud in my eyes. I better run away. It's actually interesting to see it from a battle from a perspective of somebody actually watching it.
Yes.
Rather than somebody that's involved in it.
That's a good point. I was wondering what was different about this. And you're right.
But I also love the fact this is something that comes up in Rika's last bit in this chapter, where she's watching Isern do all of the medical stuff. She's like, even though Isern is a accomplished fighter and is probably a better fighter than most of those people, she's probably also a better healer than most of those people.
Yeah.
So that's where she's both, best disposed.
That's a good point. She also doesn't wear armor, and her leg is hurt, if you remember. So I like how the shield wall, is they're all pushing against it. You can hear all the men going, "Eev!" And she can see a Dogman. He's up on the up on the steps of the tower. His veins are in his neck, and he's just screaming at his men. He's like he's just yelling orders, and he's commanding. I think it's a really, really good scene. I like to Rika is sitting back. Of course, she's watching the battle, but as some of them actually start to push through this old gate, part of the wall, and they gave in and they started all rushing through. And I like how Isern immediately jumps up and is like, "All right, time to go to work." And she's able to get one of the guys right off the bat. And she saw a whole bunch of men just run up in there. And she has this moment where she's like, okay, like, it's time for me to fight. Like, she got tired of sitting back, and she basically is like, I could have ran, but maybe the madness was catching her. And she dropped into the nap, and she raised her nap to meet him. And Isern basically killed him first. But I really like that Rika, like, I like that there's this whole characterization with Isern where she's protecting Rika's innocence, for all her bluster.
Pretends not to be there for that.
she stabs a man in the front. She's like, Rika, don't be such a bitch. And then she like steps in front of her. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I love that though. She's like, she's like the mother she never had. And,
I know. It's incredible.
Maybe she is. I'm just kidding.
Maybe. Oh.
I don't think that's right. But basically, this.
Oh yeah,
Jeff, we're trying to hurry up. Stop interrupting. This little group that comes through, they all get ambushed and they get pushed out. So, but it's a good fight scene.
That's good. All right, so let's move on to Leo's bit.
Yes, Leo's bit. Yeah,
Leo is. He's ready to go. He's sat back, but he's sort of absorbing what his mum said. Like, you've got to sit back and just listen to the fight. And it's torturing him, isn't it? He's like, oh, I hate listening to the fight where I can't be involved.
He's never been in a battle, by the way, other than that one.
So just sad, man.
Yes.
That one skirmish, yeah.
I like too how he literally just had this conversation with his mother, and he's immediately like, "Why won't she let me fight?" I'm like, "You just told her you were going to hang back, you asshole."
I know.
Jeff, how do you feel about Leo?
Oh, that closeted cock hugger Leo Dan fucking Brock.
Okay.
You know what, Jeff? I actually agree with you. You're totally, it's a great point. He is pretty he's pretty awful here.
Yeah, he's bad, terrible.
But I do like his little team. I like his little band of merry men, I guess.
I love the fact that it's sort of like a very, very, very gradual decline of Leo realizing that his friends are all like sort of having a gay orgy behind his back. They're all flirting with each other. They're all like,
I don't think all of them are,
like,
but
oh, that's disgusting. And they're all like, whatever, Leo, wink.
Yes, exactly. What is it they say here about their sausages? Like they're cooking sausages.
Oh, for a man, a boy with a face like that, I could spare 2 sausages.
Yes. And then at the end, Barnaver's like. For a boy, Jurin says, "Keep a sausage for me." He says, "For a boy with such delicate features as yours, I'll always have a sausage for you."
And I like how Leo gets offended more by that than any other one, because obviously he's in love with Jurin.
Yes.
Obviously.
He's like, Jurin would never be gay with anybody else but me.
And I do think that is kind of a sad sort of thing that most people don't talk about Leo, that he is deeply closeted and violently, horrible by anything that challenges his, self-loathing.
It's a great point. His psychological loathing comes from his bad relationship with his father. His father was like, "Be a man, suck it up, watch this. I know how to be a man. Just what you're supposed to do." And I guarantee you, for what a nice man Lord Brock was, he obviously imparted some horrible ideas in Leo's head, and Leo basically, you could already see it. Him just fucking griping about gay people and all that. He's like, "Ooh, this is disgusting. You should never blah blah blah." Any decent person. And because Leo was wanting his father's approval so fucking badly, that's why he does that. I can guarantee you that's what it is. And the fact that you can reason that so well from so little is so impressive for Joe's writing. But it is sad.
Exactly, and the fact that Durand supports him so much, and Leo thinks of him like rock. And then the second somebody else like kind of jokingly flirts with him, he's like, oh. But he doesn't really understand. But he doesn't really understand it.
No, because he doesn't.
And that's so sad. It's so sad. That's why I love Leo so much. He's so sad. What a sad.
You must be sucking a dick with that thought process. Jesus Christ.
Sorry. Yeah, it's true. It's true, Jeff. Fuck you.
I think you're right though. I think Leo, as always, is so well written, so very tragic. I also do want to take a quick moment just to mention, like, we haven't really spent any time on Leo's little crew. Barnabas obviously was in another war, and he is even like, well, I've seen an army mishandled in Styria, and this isn't it. Like, your mother's doing a fine job. We've talked a good amount about Durand, and Durand's going to be popping up quite a bit more. We'll talk more about his stuff because he gets very interesting. But I like Whitewater Jen a lot. He's basically just the classic Northman. He's very like all of Leo's friends except for Durand are all caricatures of other characters in the story because he's a shallow little prick. So he only surrounds himself by. Anthalp is the ladies' man.
So it's Whitewater Jen is Leo's bloody nine. He's just like, oh, I've got to have a Northman.
Yeah, yes.
There's got to be a Northman in my entourage.
You know how there's that token black best friend in movies? He's a token Northman best friend.
Token Northman.
He's got Boniver, who was an old warrior. We don't really know much about what Ritter was like. Anthalp is the ladies' man, even though we know he's not really a ladies' man. And
no. But I love the fact that you say about Leo's crew, and we see Barnabas die here for Leo. He puts his shield over Leo while there's an arrow barrage coming, and he gets shot himself. And I feel like Leo is sort of spending his friends in an opposite way of the way that both Giselle and West did with Caspar and Gyllenhaal. Whereas, they valued them and put them in positions above their station, and they got killed for it. Not Caspar, but Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
But Leo really only thinks about his friends
as extensions
in
of
a way
himself.
of extensions of himself, exactly. Like, he's that kind of narcissist.
Yeah, he is, and it is very subtle this early on, right? Because they're his friends, because they give him attention and things like that, and they're more like equals at this point. He doesn't seem.
But even then, Barnabas, who dies in this fight at the beginning of this, when they're talking and everything, he's just like, oh yeah, Barnabas, he's war weary, whatever, blah blah blah, and he's just trying to dismiss him, and then he gives his life for him, and he never talks about him again.
He does a little bit, but it's very unceremonious.
It's superficial. It's superficial. Yes.
Yes, like he literally is like great guy though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that Barnabas guy. Yeah, it was great. Always had a story to tell.
A little misty eye. Yeah, Glowword is like his actual. He's like I don't know what the term would be.
It's like his foil.
Yeah. He's
like his opposite.
Yeah, he's almost as good as Leo. He's almost as good,
I mean, he was the one that beat him in a wrestling match, almost.
Yep. Yes.
Without some dirty tricks, which is not foreshadowing at all.
I'm trying to go to for you. I like though Leo's next scene here is whenever he's going up. Basically, he's like, "I'm gonna go and talk to my mother again," even though he just fucking talked to her the night before. Whatever. He goes up to. He's just going up the hillside to where Fenrir's little command outpost is, and he's going up there. And I do like though how all the men, and this is a good thing that Joe puts in the story, is like. They're like, the young lion, you're my man. They're all like, tally ho, good sir, hello. And, the battle is now kicked.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Yes.
And that's an excellent point, Jeffrey. I don't know what we're gonna put in there, but that's an excellent point.
I've got 7. Don't worry.
Okay. It's as he goes up there, she's like, "I thought I gave you orders to stay away." He's like, "Yes, but I came anyways. Shut the fuck up." And they see that they're starting to take the bait. They see this little thing going on at the bridge, and Nightfall is starting to come over and start attacking those men. And they're like, oh, "Yes, that's Nightfall standard. It's a banner with a wolf on it. Wow, very very creative." And he's like, "Oh my goodness, I can't wait." And we don't get too much more with Leo other than this last little part, which is basically
she's like realizes that the game is lost, the trap has been sprung, but not in their favor. That Black Holder is there when he shouldn't have been there, which is Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Be where your enemy is not expecting you to be, which is so much common sense that it's insane that you had to write it down. But Finri looks at her son that has wanted to actually charge into battle for so long and goes, "Okay, go do it."
Yeah.
And I feel like even that, all of this build up that's a good moment for Leo. He's finally allowed to be what he wants to be, which is not very good soldier.
Yeah,
I mean, does he even do anything effective in this battle? When they charge in,
does we'll get to that.
Shouts forward, smashes a few people in the face, and then
I think he does. I do actually think that he does do that. To be honest,
take us through this forward charge.
Well, we don't get the charge yet. Remember, we get his charge in the next chapter, brother. Settle this like men.
Shit, sorry, yeah. No, I
read it. I also read a little ahead. You're good. I also read a little ahead. But I was just going to say, I really like that Finri is like really resistant to letting him go. But, she kind of brings this on herself to a degree, how she acts. She's let Leo get away too much because she feels, she's his mother. She's soft towards him in certain ways.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough.
He is all that she has left of Hal. Yeah. And that time, and anything that's good. So you would, what mother wants to see their son die in the battlefield?
And Finri is a perfect parallel to Calder, right? They both have these sons who want glory, and they're both just they both want to be hard in certain ways and act all wise, but they're not hard enough in other ways. They're not hard enough on them in the ways that count because they're afraid to lose their son. And in any way, they're both afraid that they'll die. So they need to coddle them. They need to make sure they stay safe, but they're also afraid of them getting emotionally hurt too. Probably because, in Stour's case, his mother is not there. And in Finri's case, Hal wasn't a great father. So they both have this issue. And I think it's such a good parallel for them because they really are two sides of the same coin, just like Stour and Leo are. They're both the outcome of two sad parents. It's depressing.
I mean, you could sell this relationship as like a parent self-help book. You got to maintain distance, but not too much distance. Otherwise they become psychopaths.
Or whenever you tell your kid you can't do something, you can't fucking bend whenever they push back, which is what they both do. And
you have to set rules, otherwise they become idiots.
You have to set rules and then enforce those rules, and you have to do it so that way the world doesn't do it for you. And which is what happens to both of them. But anyways, I do love how she's like, give those bastards hell, and Leo does have this little speech where he's like, this is our moment. And he's right. But, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, definitely.
And then finally we have our favorite, at least mine and George's. Jeff, do you like Clover's scene here?
Yes.
Okay, simple as that? That's all you have to say?
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll.
Okay, Jeff. That's good. Jeff AI. Thank you. I don't think we'll be having you back, but that's good.
Yeah. You're not as quite as dynamic as the real Jeff. But we've got the Clover section, which is I think
It's
I
fun. It's fun.
yeah, it's a fun chapter. Or his side of the chapter. Yes.
I love the fact that we get the reveal of Clover. Everybody knows if you're reading Joe Abercrombie characters, and this guy is taking it so easy the whole time, he's hiding something. You know? And I'm just going to jump straight to the moment where he just picks up that crossbow bolt and just holds it up to Margaret and goes, "You see this?" And he's like, "Yeah." Just stabs him in the throat, just like, "Yeah." No, you didn't. It's beautiful. I love it.
I do love that part too.
It's incredible.
my mouth drops open whenever that scene plays because I'm like, oh, he just did that, and he's like heat of battle, no hesitation, no blank. We didn't get some kind of inner monologue.
Yeah, and I love how he just watches him bleed out, like hitches his trousers up, sniffs, looks around, and goes, "Right, pick him up and take him back to the back lines." Because I've got a body now, and that means that I can get to the wounded. And I can sit down on my tree.
Yes, he just grabs Maguire and hauls him all the way back, and I love how he plays it out. First, he runs past all the men rushing forward. Then he walks past the men in reserve, and then he walks past the people being hauled off to be injured. Then he walks past them into the camp, all the way back up to the fucking back to the fucking
yeah. And then he just dumps him on the floor, and the woman goes, "He's dead." He's like, "Yeah, I know."
I like how he's like, "What a waste," but the shit happens all the time.
Yeah, better sit down now. Oh, I fucking love Clover. Clover is my spirit animal. You know, he's exactly as efficient as he needs to be, and exactly as lazy as he needs to be. You know, just living his best life out here, Clover.
Yeah, he really is. He's really like, oh, you know what? But that's the thing that's nice about Clover. It's like you think he's just some like wheedling little bitch, but at the end of the day, Clover doesn't take shit. That's the fact. Nope. The fact is, Clover is still Steepfield. He's just a smarter, sneakier, unhonorable version of him. And and I say unhonorable. He does have a point where he said earlier in his POV where he says, "I was loyal to this person until it was stupid to do so. I was gonna die. Then I was loyal to this person until it was stupid to do so." It seems like he's goes with the wind. But the fact is, he's just got the balls to do what we all need to do for the most part in these situations. And this power he uses,
he does what he needs to do to survive. And if that means stabbing this guy in the throat because he's probably going to kill him anyway, that's fine.
And it's very quickly calculated, too. He goes, okay, 1, this guy's pissing me off. I'm tired of him. 2, he's a fucking hothead. He's going to get somebody else killed. Number 3, I can do it quickly. I'm in battle. And number 4, I can get back to a tree. I can go relax. I don't have to be in this battle. I can carry him away.
Clover is like a wise old sage, you know? He's got all the wisdom, but nobody appreciates it. Yeah. I love the fact that he just holds the crossbow bolt. He's like, "What's this?" And he's like, and he just stabs him. Like, it's a crossbow bolt. It's so stupid, but I love it.
I think it's a great point, too. You said he's a sage. You're right. He literally is the antithesis. He's like the perfect quote unquote mentor character. Like, yes. Because you like Clover so much, I don't know if Jeff feels the same.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Obviously he agrees because I'm right. I'm taking this one.
Mm-hmm.
You pointed out so many things about Clover so far in this short time we've had that normally Clover's my bottom chapter in terms of who I like to read. But yeah, I think I really like him a lot more since you started mentioning things about him in this last read through. Because you're right, he's like the he's a perfect Joe mentor character. He is a mentor character who doesn't follow the same rules, the same themes, you know?
I feel like he's a mentor character that never meets the person that he's meant to mentor. You know what I mean?
Until the very end of the story, literally.
Yeah, exactly. Like if Clover got introduced to Leo, that would be a completely different story.
You're right. You're totally right. That's a great point. Yeah, that's so good. And it's like, that's the tragedy, right? What if you have a mentor character who doesn't fuck around, who is actually genuinely good at advice and capable, who gets saddled with somebody who does not give a fuck, like Stour.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really
That's
good.
exactly what he is. It's brilliant. I love him.
Awesome.
I love Clover.
Other than
I
that,
love all the characters in
I
this.
I love them all.
Everybody talks shit about Vic and Broad, but I love them.
I love Vic. Vic is incredible. But the other parts about this chapter, his side, is basically Wonderful is like, I've got a bad feeling about this. I don't think this is a good idea. Blah 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 blah. And then her and Clover are both like, "Oh no, Stour, you're falling into the Union's trap. What are you doing?" And then Stour, though, props to Stour. He's all like, "Oh yes, a battle. I love battle." Oh, he's literally just the same as Leo. Literally the
But
same.
he is biding his time as well. He's like, "Yeah, my dad said that we're going to do an ambush now."
Yes. My daddy set this up for me.
Yeah, which is really Black Calder's. It's his plot point.
Which again is great because that's exactly what happens with Finry and Leo. It's the same shit, just two different sides. I love the parallels, which this book and this whole last trilogy has so many parallels. And
yeah, definitely.
Other than Wonderful being like, "Oh shit, Magua are dying," Stour basically is just some bloodthirsty animal like Leo is, who's like, "Get into the fighting, push them back," and he's like, "We're not going to be the ones in the cheese trap. They are."
The fucking cheese trap. Yeah, that's great.
I would love if he used that more. He's like,
"Oh, somebody else should say it at some point, I think." But
maybe
it's the way it is. Oh my lord.
Anyways, what do you rate this chapter, George?
I would give the Battle of Red Hill a.
It's tough. It's honestly a tough one. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 6. It's a good battle chapter. I love the character development with Leo is probably my favorite. I think Leo is my favorite part of this chapter. The Clover stuff coming to a head where he's obviously really fucking had this rivalry, or at least from one-sided rivalry with Magua. And it just ends up with him just stabbing him, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, okay." It's good. I love that. It's funny. The Ricker stuff is good. I love the one eye, the log eye stuff, but at the end of the day, that's the plot, not character development. So, yeah, I'll give it a 6.
Okay. I me and you, since we're just the two of us, basically. You don't count AI Jeffrey. Okay, that's true.
Fuck off, Jeffrey.
We're getting the new Jeffrey back on here. Okay, the real Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we're gonna dig him back up at that crypt we buried him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to. The thing I want to say about this chapter 2 is soon, and I'll reiterate because real Jeff will be here and he's going to have problems with it. Real Jeff has a real big problem with how Ricka's long eye works, and I think there's a big misconception with how Ricka's long eye works. And I'll quickly address it here, and I'll address it next episode as well. Ricka's long eye sees the future. The future, despite what Ricka and maybe some of the other characters believe, is set in the first law. There is no changing the future in the first law. There's no changing. So when Ricka sees something, it doesn't matter what actually happens because it's already set to happen. She doesn't... Because whenever...
What proof do you have for that?
Okay, first of all, any vision she's ever seen in the entire story always happens, no matter what actions are taken. Okay? She saw Leo beat Stour in the circle. The lion eats the wolf. She saw it happen already.
No. She had an idea of a concept.
She did.
A feeling
You're right.
of a concept.
But guess what? Whenever she says, this is the scene that people probably don't like, and I know Jeffrey doesn't like it. She says, "Go low."
Yeah.
That's not what actually causes this to happen. Leo just fucking grabs the thing and does it. Like, he doesn't. I really don't think that.
Basically, whether or not Ricka saw it or not.
Yes. Ricka sees the vision. Inevitably, she's going to say something because she feels like she can do something about it. But Ricka,
you can even think about it in terms of this chapter as well. Like, they saw the nails men coming out of the woods.
Yep.
And they pivoted in exactly the same way as they would have 10 minutes earlier. Like
exactly. Exactly. It doesn't change anything. And that's actually this small realization character kind of magic arc that Rika goes through this entire 3 trilogy long thing. She ends the story betraying Orso because she knows that it's not that she doesn't have any choice.
Future vision doesn't mean shit.
Yes, that she is going to betray when the owl eats the lamb or whatever, right? That idea, she knows what that means because she knows that inevitably she will have to turn him in. She doesn't have a choice for her people.
Even if at the end of Wisdom of Crowds she took him in and smuggled him to the north, eventually it would all catch up.
Yeah, but she would never have.
The lamb,
I know. I love talking about speculation, but she wouldn't have because the Long Eye is not wrong. There is no changing the future in the first Law series. That's the way Joe has it set up, and that's okay. That's just the way he has it set up.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I have to say about that. I'm excited to get to the next one. I'm gonna give it a 7 and knuckle because I think it's actually just I really enjoy the chapter.
It is a good chapter. I'm gonna stick with the 6 just because I think it's the actual battle stuff is subpar for Joe stuff, but
fair.
Everything else is fantastic.
Joe and Jeffrey would probably rate this. He'd probably cut down the middle. He'd probably go 6 and a knuckle if I had to guess.
Oh no, it's a really long chapter, so he'd just give it a 9 straight away. So
that's the biggest.
Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, Jeff? Wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh. And for our last little section here, we're going to cover our character spot, who is
Magweir.
His first of all, he's got a shitty name.
Weird, strange little man.
Yeah,
it's hard to say, isn't it? Magweir. It's just weird. Doesn't roll off the tongue at all.
It's not weird. It's Magweird.
It's Magweird. Yeah, it is. Magweir is the epitome of a wannabe. He's a wannabe badass that has no skill at all. He doesn't have any kind of inclination towards actually doing anything useful in the battle. He just wants to fuck with Clover, and it doesn't go well for him.
It's literally a level one criminal.
Yeah, it's like the level 1 boss, right? Yeah,
level 100 boss. He's literally just a little tag along for Stour to be like, yeah, what he said.
But at the same time, I feel like Stour's group is the same way as Leo's group in a way.
Yep. All extensions.
Because they all get murdered off at the same time, don't they? Whenever one of Leo's dies, one of Stour's dies.
Yes. I will say Stour's dies always in a more pitiful way.
Yes, and Stour is also not fond of any of his followers at all.
Yep.
Don't be a cunt, Greenway.
I like that too because it's like they're extensions of themselves with Stour even more to an extreme because he's more of a cunt. And
they're all insecure because Stour is so insecure. It's insane.
Yeah. Which honestly, actually, what's great about this little crew, this little sad crew, is the fact that Stour is genuinely better than the other ones.
Yeah. We see that at some point. That he is actually a very, very good fighter that is...
We'll see in the next chapter.
Basically been trained from birth to fight men,
Yeah.
But
unlike
all
Leo.
he really wants to do is burn down villages and hang people. It's just like, man. You could have been so much better.
Imagine, Alexander the Great's, companions, except they're all cunts.
Even more, anyway.
Even more. Extra cunt.
More cunts. More cunty.
Can I get an Alexander the Great companions, but extra cunt, please?
Yes, exactly.
Magweir sucks.
That's just the way it goes.
We barely knew ye.
Magweir is a piece of shit. I'm glad he's dead.
I'm glad he's dead. Honestly, though, very satisfying death. It was so satisfying because most of the time in these stories, in any story, you have a character like this and they stick around for too long. You're like, why are you even here? And Clover has the same thought. He's like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. Die. He just kills him.
And I love the fact that most of Magweir is just Clover going, oh, yep, that's that Magweir staring at me again across the room. What a weirdo. What is he doing? And then he gets to the point, he's like, oh, he's threatening me. Oh, he's dead. Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
well,
I think the shit.
But I gotta lie down.
That's all I got to say about Magwear. Anything for you,
Wonderful.
Jeff?
Nah, no way. You're bugging. Get the fuck out of here.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeffrey.
We want to thank you for listening and supporting this podcast. This is a passion project for the three of us, and your support means oh so much. Please join us next week as we cover Settle This Like Men, Demands, and Taking the Reins.
And make sure you follow us on all of our social media or shoot us an email at circleoftheworldpodcast@gmail.com.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you listen to podcasts on. Please rate and review this podcast as it helps spread our reach. Thank you all again for listening.
I smile whenever possible.